grass, silky ears flapping like velvet wings. Her mother wasn't far behind, striding across the meadow towards the garden in her summery homemade dress. The baby was wedged comfortably on her hip, legs bare beneath his playsuit, in deference to the day's heat. Although they were still a way off, through some odd quirk of the wind current, Laurel could hear quite clearly the tune her mother was singing. It was a song she'd sung to each of them in turn, and the baby laughed with pleasure, shouting, "More! More!" though it sounded like more, more, as Mum crept her fingers up his tummy to tickle his chin. Their focus on one another was so complete, their appearance together in the sun-drenched meadow so idyllic, that Laurel was torn between joy at having observed the private interaction and envy at being outside it. As her mother unlatched the gate and started for the house, Laurel realized with sinking spirit that she'd come for the cake knife herself. At every step, Laurel's opportunity for redemption receded further. She grew sulky, and her sulkiness stopped her from calling out or climbing down, rooting her instead to the treehouse floor. There she sat, stewing darkly in a strangely pleasant manner, as her mother reached and entered the house. One of the hula hoops fell silently to hit the ground, and Laurel took the action as a show of solidarity. She decided to stay where she was. Let them miss her a while longer. She'd get to the stream when she was good and ready. In the meantime, she was going to read The Birthday Party again and imagine a future far away from here, a life where she was beautiful and sophisticated, grown up and scab-free. The man, when he first appeared, was little more than a hazy smudge on the horizon, right down at the furthest reach of the driveway. Laurel was never sure, later, what it was that made her look up then. For one awful second, when she first noticed him walking towards the back of the farmhouse, Laurel thought it was Billy, arrived early and coming to fetch her. Only as his outline clarified and she realized he was dressed all wrong, dark trousers, shirt sleeves, and a black hat with an old-fashioned brim, did she let herself exhale. Curiosity arrived hot on the heels of relief. Visitors were rare at the farmhouse, those on foot rarer still, though there was a vague memory at the back of Laurel's mind as she watched the man come closer, an odd sense of déjà vu that she couldn't place, no matter how hard she tried. Laurel forgot that she was sulking, and with the luxury of concealment, surrendered herself to staring. She leaned her elbows on the windowsill, her chin on her hands. He wasn't bad looking for an older man, and something in his posture suggested a confidence of purpose. Here was a man who didn't need to rush. Certainly he was not someone she recognized, not one of her father's friends from the village, or any of the farm hands. There was always the possibility he was a lost traveler seeking directions, but the farmhouse was an unlikely choice, tucked away as it was so far from the road. Perhaps he was a gypsy or a drifter, one of those men who chanced by occasionally, down on their luck, and grateful for whatever work Daddy had to give them. Or, Laurel thrilled at the terrible idea, he might be the man she'd read about in the local newspaper, the one the adults spoke of in nervous strains, who'd been disturbing picnickers and frightening women who walked alone along the hidden bend downriver. Laurel shivered, scaring herself briefly, and then she yawned. The man was no fiend. She could see his leather satchel now. He was a salesman, come to tell her mother about the newest encyclopedia set they couldn't live without. And so she looked away. Minutes passed, not many, and the next thing she heard was Barnaby's low growl at the base of the tree. Laurel scrambled to the window, peering over the sill to see the spaniel standing to attention in the middle of the brick path. He was facing the driveway, watching as the man, much closer now, fiddled with the iron gate that led into the garden. "Hush, Barnaby," her mother called from inside. "We won't be long now." She emerged from the dark hall, pausing at the open door to whisper something in the baby's ear, to kiss his plump cheek and make him giggle. Behind the house, the gate near the henyard creaked.